Yeah, so I just got the card sit in there, and this thing is massive. And I got two of these, so I'm assuming they're both going to fit. The other one's going to go on the other slot over here. So, like I said, I'm really hoping that they're going to fit. And I'll hook up the supplemental power in just a minute. Again, the power supply came with 4 of the power cables that are sitting over here by where my hand's at. So hopefully I can tie the other ones back and get this thing going really soon. Like I said, if you've done this before, this is kind of crazy. I don't know with all the wires, and I've got everything tied up how things are going to go. I assume once I get it running that I'll be able to spend a little more time on it. We have these supplemental power pieces here, so I'll just hook this up and we're good to go. Be back. Okay, I usually do a little bit of rehearsing just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, but at this point I need to get a second video card into the system. So I've got 2 wires that are here that are in the way. One, the yellow one, is the sound that comes from the front, and the blue one is the 1394 wire that's here. So basically all I need to do is separate them out. Now these video cards, I don't know how many of you have actually done these larger video cards, but they are huge. If we look at a standard video card, this is a 256 megabit video card. It's got the regular DVI. I think I showed you this once before. And then you look at the card difference between the two. It's amazing. In fact, I can't even get full frame into the thing. So these cards are just massive. In fact, I thought I would do something a little different. I bought actually a GeForce 9800 GTX and a 9800 GTX Plus, and I thought they would be the same, but what's going on is I'm now going to end up with cards that are different. So I've basically split everything apart, and I'm going to try and get all of my wires and everything separated out. So you have to kind of move some shit around. So I'm going to unplug my 1394 for now, and then get the sound one to lay down. I don't like doing it this way, but I don't really have a choice since I'm running out of space. You'd think with a with a case this big, I wouldn't have space issues, but these video cards are just massive. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the 1394. It's probably hard for you to see. You're probably just seeing a bunch of knuckles at this point. But I'm going to run the 1394 behind it. Okay, so I'm good to go now. So now what I'm going to do is I'll pull off the expansion slots. We have these little blanks that are listed there, or sitting there. Put those over, and I need to get rid of 3 of them. Again, this is quite the pain. Everything's unplugged, and I've got my wrist guard on, so shouldn't have too much to worry about. 2 of these screws I don't care about. They're going to be gone. And we've got this. So put the blanks in the drawer. And now I've got space for this. So again, this is pretty crazy because of the way the sound is set up. It's hard to see, but the sound is actually popped up from the board. And everything else is good to go. So I'm going to see if I can fit the card into there. And this thing is huge. I'm hoping it's going to fit. They're supposed to sit side by side. Got SATA connections down here. I've got all sorts of stuff getting in the way. So we're hoping for a click. And I'm not finding it. Everything looks like it's supposed to line up. I don't know how many of you have messed with putting 2 of these guys next to each other, but they are very, 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 very large. And again, I have a problem because I keep putting the SATA component cable away from it. So you have to hold everything and get everything lined up. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Okay, now these, I guess they're okay sitting next to each other. I don't know, but this is what we get. So now I've got the two cards mounted. Everything seems to have enough space in there, so now I'm going to go put back in the screws, and I'm pretty much done. The only thing I will need to do now is to get the other power cable hooked up. The power supplies nowadays have multiple power cables for the different cards. So what I'm going to do is just run one of those over. You can see I've already got it here set up. And finally my last screw. And like I said, all you're probably seeing is a bunch of knuckles and shots on my watch. Unfortunately, the way I have the camera mounted on the stand, it's hard to see, and I can't flip it around because I can't get to it. So I've got everything that we have here. I had already pre-run the PCIe, which is going to be going to the card here. And you can see that I have two that are listed here, and I'm just going to throw it into one of them. Don't know which one's which, but I'll just connect it on there. So there we have the 9800 GTX Plus and the 9800 GTX. I don't know why they're different, but hey, there you go. And they're good to go. All the rest of these cables, until I get everything running and situated exactly the way I want, they're all going to sit here. You can see I have the fan cables. I have all the extra. In fact, this thing has two additional PCIe power cables for two cards. I don't know why you'd ever be running 3 or 4. I will check the manual to see if I run a second one to this card or not, and whether that has to do with the physics, which I'm not going to be using, and the SLI setups. And you can see all the rest of the cables are here. I ordered some new cables from, I can't even see them over here. Ordered some new cables from Merit Line to take care of the 90-degree angles for the SATAs and everything else. So hopefully I'll edit this down for content, but there we go.